So thank you, Paul, for having me on behalf of Project Liberty. And it's great to be here. It's my first time and first time in this room, which never existed in my reality before. So it's nice to be here. But this is great to be talking to this group. So I'll say a couple words about Project Liberty, just kind of set the stage for who we are, because not everyone knows us yet. We're trying to change that. And my particular role and what my team does, and then talk a little bit about what Paul referenced, which is the Blockchain Governance Toolkit that we recently released about 2 weeks ago, which we really hope becomes a useful tool truly for different groups to work through governance questions when it comes to blockchain and decentralized technology in general. So a quick word about Project Liberty. If you're not already familiar with Project Liberty, probably most likely heard about Project Liberty through the TikTok bid that our founder, Frank McCourt, announced this spring. A people's bid is what he's calling it, which is reflects our core mission. He wants to propose the potential for a different form of governance for TikTok in which people have, if they're a user of TikTok, have greater control over their data. And that is the core of our mission at Project Liberty. It is about increasing the voice people have about what gets done with their data, who has access to it, how the platforms in which they participate are managed and governed, increasing their choice. So really backing up that voice with the option to decide to vote with your feet in the larger ecosystem and move elsewhere, but bring your social networks with you, bring your personal data with you, and not have that remain with the platform owner. And then finally, the stake that people have, which in some ways is really at the end of the day, the most important thing, some reflection, whether it's monetary or otherwise, of the value of your personal data and your personal social networks as they are monetized in the world today. What is your stake? And making sure that we increase the stake of individuals. It's a very much focus on decentralized solutions for a better intranet. And I think that's what brings us into this realm. Our technological solution is focused on the protocol layer. We call it decentralized social networking protocol. It exists and it depends on blockchain. Again, a connection with some of the things that this group focuses on. Now, in terms of my own team and where we sit, we're at the Institute within Project Liberty. So we're a 501c3 research-oriented arm of Project Liberty, and we're not directly party to the bid, just to be clear. So we're focused on some fundamental questions about governance, like how are platforms managed, what are data rights for individuals, et cetera. And that's why we put together this governance toolkit, and we did it based on some serious research. So it's not in the toolkit, but I want to flag that along with our partners at Blockchain Gov and Primavera de Filippi in particular, we did 11 in-depth case studies of different existing blockchain governance systems, platforms, and really looked at what's happening today and then distilled from those different existing models some core principles and questions that we think are relevant for anyone thinking about how to manage and govern a decentralized community or platform. And that distillation is what you have in this toolkit. So we also call it, and in the subtitle is a cookbook, and that emphasizes the idea that we're not prescriptive here. This isn't meant to say, hey, Project Liberty Institute, we know exactly how you should govern your platform. No, this is meant to be a helpful tool where you work through all stages of what we call the cookbook process, which goes from flavors, which is really about some of the core trade-offs that we saw blockchain platforms making about, are we immutable? Do we adapt? How much do individuals have a say in how things are done? Do we do on-chain, off-chain voting? All these kinds of things involve really important trade-offs and about the quality and the culture you're creating, right, through the blockchain technology. We work from flavors to ingredients, like what are some existing models you can use, and there's lots of them. And then how do you put those pieces together in an actual recipe, again, using that metaphor. And then, very importantly, acknowledging that once you do all that hard work, and we know it's hard work, just acknowledging, and I think it's part of the culture that I've been witnessing within the blockchain community, if I can call it that, is that it's not over, right? This continues to evolve. Governance of blockchain will continue to evolve. And any individual effort in this regard will need to adjust the recipe, change the flavor, so to speak, change the balance of ingredients to meet the goals and aspirations of the community and people involved. The last thing I want to say about the toolkit is, first of all, we really do want people to use it. So reach out to me or colleagues at Project Liberty Institute. I'm based in DC. We're happy to work with anyone and everyone to dive deep into the toolkit, maybe apply it. We're doing some work at ETHCC with practitioners, for example. We very much want this to be used and help people use it. And the other thing is, related to this group in particular and where we're sitting, we have a big question here. And it's really a question about how much should blockchain groups be thinking about proactively adopting a legal entity, legal wrapper? What is that relationship with the law and the legal system today, whether it's national or state level? So again, thank you for having me. Really hope you guys check this out. Let me know if I can be helpful in any way. And just great to connect. Thank you so much, Paul.
Let's see if we have any questions for Jeb.
Sure.
I have a question. Is Project Liberty associated with Georgetown University and other universities? Because I think I heard that, and I just would like to make sure everybody is aware.
So the Institute, again, the 501c3, that's the research arm, is. And so we have relationships with programs and centers at Georgetown, Sciences Po, Stanford, MIT, Harvard, and now most recently ETH Zurich. And these are both policy-oriented and also technological oriented. So it's a combination of looking to these institutions and programs within them for new tech innovation, but also really working through some of these governance issues. Yeah.
I'm actually working my way through Frank and Michael Casey's book. I think I'm a couple chapters in. And what I've taken away from that so far is that the values there are very much aligned with the values of Electric Coin Company. And that is our slogan, which is privacy is normal. Do you want to just make people aware of that book if they're not already?
Yeah, absolutely. So Frank McCourt and Michael Casey, our founder and a very experienced journalist in this realm, wrote the book, Our Biggest Fight. It came out in March. Highly recommended. Thank you, Paul, for flagging it. It really communicates the philosophy of Frank McCourt, our founder, and really lays out, again, the core mission, which is very much about privacy is normal. I mean, Frank has really come in his own way to the conclusion that what we're talking about, I will say data and data rights matter, but he really, really emphasizes personhood. And he really doesn't think that people should be separated from what now is an integral component of who they are, which is their digital footprint and all the data that's online about them. And so privacy is normal. That is you. You are a person. And to bifurcate that just by kind of an organic extension of how the technology's evolved is not okay, and that we need to address that. And he has also said to me that there's a big policy gap in his view. Policy has not kept pace with technology, and this is why a group like this exists in part. So very much aligned. Absolutely.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions? All right. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thanks.